Oh, it's... Baby, how do you like your eggs in the morning?
Right, so, with my good friend Luke Stoltman, I'm going to try and do an episode from the cold tub and the Brass Monkey cold tub. We'll hop in the hot tub afterwards, and I might be a little bit more coherent in there, but how you doing, Luke?
Good, man.
Good, you're a little bit more settled than me in this.
No, it's still cold. It's ridiculous, but it's just, it's nice. I had a big session today, so it was really fun to this today. So, you see you've had a big session.
Yeah, big session yesterday, so we're all headed from marathon yesterday. We're on day one, we're going into day two now, but bit of a recovery day, got 15 miles tonight, so ice bath was called for, to be honest, to get the inflammation down. So.
It's so very sweet.
How long have you had this for?
We've had it for a few weeks now. So it was a bit of back and forth with Brass Monkeys. Initially, I think we were going to send that two, but I wanted the big one.
The big boy.
Yeah,
this is amazing, yeah.
I think, it's nice that we can get more people in here, and I think when we're all in the cold and you're not thinking, you can't think about anything what you're going to say, which is nice. So Tom and I are in, Lee Tom's come in from the cameraman. We have some nice conversations, and I think that's what it's all about. We touched on it before, is having, men or women, whatever, but in a men's group, and getting some men to come in here and share their thoughts and feelings, and that's the...
Kind of strips the bullshit away, I think, yeah, because you like you say, you don't have time to think, you just kind of comes out. Yeah. The reason we're doing the Brass Monkey, obviously people have seen it on the channel before with some of the projects we've done, but Brass Monkey have donated an ice bath for the Jordan Mulligan charity, which is why I was running yesterday. So they are giving away one of these. So if you wanted to, it's a £5 donation and you can win a bath, and you've got a good chance of winning as well. So unfortunately I can't enter it. I just put a load of donations in, but yeah, unbelievable. And like, the fact it produces ice, and it's kind of like a different experience. You know what it feels like? You know when we went to Lockmore?
Yes.
It's got that kind of different coldness.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. Oh, for sure, because it is genuine, like ice. It's not. I haven't just gone out and bought like a load of ice.
It produces.
This is like
it's very. You can set it to the temperature you want to, but it's the coldest ice bath I've been in, and somebody with a tech behind it, all that kind of stuff. So if you want to win it, there's one in the description. But quick 5 questions.
I say why. I was actually asking why do you do that?
Yeah, I mean, that's a me question for you. Yes, to start with.
To stop me from blowing my head off. I think that's pretty. That's kind of what I do. I love it because it gives me that reset. It feels like, imagine all the drugs in the world, like cocaine, speed, whatever it is, and you've taken the most ever. Like, that's what I feel after that night. So I do it in the morning. I go down and I'm like, right, and you can have some really good ideas because it gives you that clarity and that peace of mind. I guess it's probably not the most politically correct answer, but that's what I do, is to take the pressure.
So I started doing it with basketball for injury, then it quickly became sort of like, there was one of the things I didn't want to do, but I knew if I did it I was kind of overcoming it a bit mentally, so I started doing it for the mental benefits. But then I was having a bit of a rough year, and I was coming up here, and the same thing Luke was doing before. He was going out to the ocean and dipping in and just getting imagine you had all the stresses in the world, you get into the cold, the North Sea in winter, and it just goes. You're not thinking of everything that's going off, you're just cold. So, for me that was the same thing, and that now a lot of recovery for this run, but yeah, same thing, man. Just takes the worries away, really. Been 5. We'll go a bit longer.
I'll ask you another question. It's about the race yesterday. What was the toughest moment?
Toughest moment was insane. We've caught it on film, but mile 20, I hit the worst wall imaginable, and people talk about hitting a wall in a marathon, and I hit it around mile 20, and you got 100 kilos strapped to your back, so It was bad. It was emotional. I felt like I was letting Jacob down. And I sat there and I opened a letter from Jude. Jude's letter was his favourite memory with me, and the memory he had that was his favourite memory with me was me, Luke and Tom and him. And then about 10-15 minutes later, walking up, almost in tears, and Luke pulled up for the last 6 miles and turned it all around. But that was the darkest moment. But I don't know, when Luke turned up, it was just like, yeah, got all my power back, got my legs back, and pushed through.
Through the darkest times
It was bad.
Can be the brightest times as well.
So Luke had "Trust Me, You Will Survive" on the back of his t-shirt. I don't know if it was purposeful, but Luke led the way, and I was just reading that the whole time. And then Luke was dropping some bombs as well. So. Yeah. All right, well that's ending shortly because of me, because I'm a bit cold out here, should be. And Luke could probably sit there for about 30 minutes. So.
Hope you're enjoying this episode so far. Today's episode, as always, was powered by Huel. Obviously, I've been using Huel for the past few years, but right now, as we speak, I'm doing the world's heaviest marathon where I do 100 kilos across Scotland, and then I'm going to have a stone cut down into a 30 kilo stone and run that back 450 miles over 10 days. To do that, I need to be fueled with the right nutrition, and that's where Huel has come in clutch. They provided me this and so much more as I consume over 15,000 calories per day running across the country. From the essentials with slow release carbs, and then we have the Black Edition, which I have been using throughout my training and I will be using all the way across the country. In this mix right here, we have 26 vitamins and minerals, slow release carbs, and 40 grams of protein in every shake that I drink to maintain my muscle mass as I burn 15,000 plus calories every single day. This is what I'm going to be using. But don't just take my word for it. There are many other amazing athletes who have been using this product, like one of my favorite, Russ, the hardest geezer, as he ran the entire length of Africa. If you want to find out more about Huel, head to the link in the description where you can get exclusive offers, or pop into your local store. All major retailers stock Huel, and I promise you, once you've tried it, you'll never go back. Let's dive back into the episode.
How was yesterday for you? Because I mean, you had to put 6 miles in as well. It was
so hard, mate, I tell you. It was really difficult. No, I mean, it was really difficult to see like that because, like, I think, well, again, I'm not trying to, like, say what we do in strongman is the same as that, but
no,
in that frame of mind, you know, when you're like repping out like heavy weights or when you're pulling a car, like you know, you're like, oh my god, I just don't want to do this anymore, and it's so stupid. And like what you were saying is like, it's such a stupid thing. Like honestly, I'm so stupid.
Why am I doing this?
And like I could feel the anger. But like I know you, and I know that you've got it in you to keep going and to do that, and it's like, geez, it was wild. It was really emotional at some points. Like I got quite emotional just when we were coming up to the roundabout at Tesco's. And Yusuf, I think, had the sign out for the charity. And I saw that, I was like, it kind of hit home then, like, again, it reinstates or confirms like why you're doing it, you know, you're doing it because of something that's like super emotional for you. So yeah, it was just a lot of emotions, and but just a lot of pride for you to really kind of, you know, you said a while ago that you wanted to do this, and when you said it, I was like, oh yeah, cool mate, sounds amazing. But to see you do it, it was a huge privilege to be there and to walk that final few miles with you. It felt really good, just a bit wild in that A96, you know. But
yeah, it's pretty crazy. What was your initial plan? Did you come down to do, or was it because you saw me in such a bad state, you were like, oh, I hadn't, like, I knew you'd be like,
in a bad way.
Yeah, like, because it's not easy. Like, I was thinking 100 kilos, like, is like a lot of weight. People don't understand. Like 100 kilos is like try squatting 100 kilos. It's a heavy weight. But we didn't have any plans. Like, I'd finished my session. I said to Tom, the videographer, I says, "Come on, we'll just head down, see how you're getting on." And then saw it, I was like, Jesus, I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
But
you caught me in the worst of moments. Like I think I saw you wind the window down and I was like, I'm not having a good day or something like that. I think it was like,
you said that I'm having a good day, Luke,
And then you just hopped out and that was it. And it's interesting because, I think I spoke to you about this for your documentary, but the biggest thing that was weighing on me is I'd almost like, I'd made a promise to Jacob, and I think that was, it was very, very painful to do it. But the really painful thing was like if I let him down now, and I think you've spoken about making similar promises and wanting to fulfill those things, and it is really powerful way, but it's also quite destructive because you really, it's almost like you cannot fail, like, because if you do, it just really, really hurts, or it would really hurt if you fail.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
But like his being, or whatever you want to call it, is allowing you to do that.
Yeah, 100%.
Like that's because we said earlier, without that happening, you would be able to do that. Like if you were living a nice, happy, peaceful life, nothing going on inside your head that's like driving you crazy sometimes. It's that point, I think, that's where the magic can really happen. And this is like, it's truly, like, I'm not just saying it because I'm your mate and stuff, but seeing how slow you're walking and that, like, pain, like, that was that magic moment that, like, being able to fight through that and do it because of Jacob, not just because it's a cool thing to do. You see a lot.
I wouldn't be able to do it.
No way. It's wild. Like, I wouldn't be able to do that. I'd be like,
I think you could.
No, mate. But like, it's a mental challenge, and I just don't. Yeah, I wouldn't ever want to do it.
Yeah.
Like, there's a difference between that and and I think that's, although it's disgusting and horrible, and going through grief, and grief is a constant thing, I think, but grief can also, like, push you to do these, like, really stupid things. It's like, I've got a really a good idea, I think, but it's really stupid. And then you realise halfway through, like, you've got 6 miles left, like, this is the most stupid idea. And think, oh my God, I don't want to do it, but I've got to do it because the reason why I had to set out to do it was because of, your boy and stuff. And it's just, like, that's a powerful thing, I think.
Yeah, I think that's a really nice thing as well about it to put out there for grief. Like, that's why I try and share that message, but it's a little bit, it's really hard to articulate.
Yeah.
Like, to tell somebody, the worst of things that you're going to go through is also going to, like, lead to things that will be helpful in the future or benefit you. And it's like, because it's sort of set up to me, the day Jacob had died, I would have been upset or I would have been hurt, but it is really true. Like, going through what I did with Jacob has kind of led to, I don't know, like a different kind of strength of mind, a different way, like the way I live my life, the way I love people, the way I think of Jacob, all those kind of things, like, wouldn't have happened. And it's something I have a conversation about actually with a lot of the guests at the moment, because it's really interesting to me, especially when they're, like, faith-based or religion-based, and, like, it's unfortunate it couldn't happen without reasoning.
Yeah.
Like, why did it have to be that way? But it's kind of the way it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a different. But I know it's you've spoken about similar things with your mum. Like, that's similar kind of themes, and it's really hard to articulate. I don't know if you've got a better way of saying it, or.
I can't articulate much, but I don't know. I was looking into stuff, like, a few weeks back about like vulnerability and stuff, and I think maybe it's just when we're talking about grief as well, it's like allowing yourself to be vulnerability in grief as well, because like when we're vulnerable, like, I know when I'm vulnerable, I'm very worried, I'm very scared, and sometimes I go into self-sabotage. Same with grief. Like, when I'm in grief or when I'm experiencing, I get really worried, really scared, but like after I go into grief, I know I've got to go through that, and then afterwards it's something amazing that comes out of it.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point to make. Yeah, you do have to go through it.
Yeah.
I think there's a tendency with men to, maybe people who experience grief, but something I notice more in men is to bury it.
Yeah.
And it gets you. It really does get you at some point. But we're just speaking about the run itself. Like, I'm going to share what happened on the run, and it wasn't pretty, and it was the grief that was getting me. It was the pain from Jacob and losing Jacob and stuff, and I was saying that I could share the run as if I was this magnificent athlete who just runs 26.2 miles with 100 kilos on my back, or I could show the real side of it, which was just absolutely brutal. And there was crying, there was screaming, there was smiles and laughs, but there was a lot of pain there as well. And that, I think that's the reality of it for everybody. And I think I've always said this about you. Being one of the strongest men in the world, but also being able to say, you got to be able to be vulnerable as well. You got to be able to share, and it's okay. I think it's okay to cry. Is a really nice thing to let people know. But yeah, I think there's like a bit of a. Sometimes the flip side of that is like you're weak if you cry. But it's a difficult one, especially if we're taught to be stern and solid.
Yeah, and I think, like, again, I don't know. It's something I've been thinking the last little while as well. Like, you look at going to like mental health and all the crisis and everything that people talk about. And it's been like that for quite a long time now. So, like, the messages that we're putting out is, right, men, be open, share, blah blah blah, talk, and it's not working. So, like we've got to maybe analyse it, or I don't know what we have to do, but look at it a little bit differently, a little bit separately. Like, not all men are going to be able to share stuff. Not all men are going to be able to cry and be open and be at one of their emotions. So what is it we say to them? Right, find something. I'm not saying going on a marathon with 100 kilos.
Find an outlet. Find an outlet
that does that, because again, 100%. When we're talking about men can't do this, women are better at sharing, men are more this. It's a difficult one, because but we're so good at doing stuff. We're so good at getting stuff done. I think men have a tendency, through all the hardships, the struggles of life, and so do women. Of course, women do, but it's just like highlighting what men are good at, and then hopefully then that'll change the shift in it, because we all go through grief, we all embrace it or don't embrace it, whatever it is that gets you through that grief. It's something that it's not a one fix, it's not a one trick thing.
100%,
you can't just say, right, share everything, cry with me, mate, and we'll be fine. And because that works maybe for us, and certain people that we know, other guys who wouldn't, a lot, like you say, a lot more stern, a lot more.
No, I think you're right. Yeah.
Or maybe some guys, again, I was speaking to a therapist about it, and we say a lot of the time that drinking isn't good, but some men can only express themselves when they have a drink. So it's like, actually, you getting drunk and having that release, you might not be able to remember too much about it, but in a way, your body's still releasing that, so it's still getting that chemical process of releasing stuff. Yeah,
that's a very valid point of releasing it, because that's why I say if you bury it, I think in my head visually, because this is how it was for me. I had grief that was buried quite deep, but it always felt like it would brim over. For me it was the either extreme exercise, extreme work, or crying would kind of get that valve release and just release a bit of that pressure. But whenever I was just keeping it buried inside, that's when it was, it would be, I don't know, toxic or whatever. Like, it wouldn't be as healthy for me as, wouldn't function as well. Yeah, I think just getting some kind of release from somewhere is the way forward.
But again, who knows?
Who knows, yeah.
Who knows what it is? We're just a couple of daft fuckers sitting in a hot tub. After Tom's just been in this as well, so I don't know what.
It's probably a bit it's probably something in it.
We just put our heads in it as well. It's a bit murky as well, but it's not so nice. But I think, it's just, I don't know, it's just nice to be able to, I don't know, drop the mask a wee bit, because we all got that tendency to have a mask. That's what I find with strongman sometimes, and when there's cameras on you all the time, you have this mask and you have to sometimes portray things in a different way, and in reality I'm anxious little boy that wants to be loved and wants to be cuddled and just wants to stay inside most of the time and
Yeah.
not be in the big bad world. But that's not the reality that we live in. We have to go out, we have to face music. And
Interesting on the strongman conversation, because whenever we've been out to like Worlds or anything, like you are like a big crowd favourite. Like the crowd love you. Like they lap up your energy and stuff. You know, because I've seen other people come and go, and like the wrestling kind of side comes out, like the WWE style characters. And it's like not like, did you have that moment where you're like, oh, I need to be a character, I need to be like something like this, or?
No, it was weird for me because I'm very kind of driven by how I feel in the moment, and like if I do a good lift, like I'm there. If I I'm ripping my shirt off or shouting, or like, and when I see Tom compete, like that releases something in me, like something like really primal, like I'm fucking shouting. I'm like, I need to give. I don't know. It's so like, so I don't try. Like in that heat of the moment, like I can't pretend to do or to be something, if that makes sense, because it's just, again, you're just spent, you're just that done, you're just that tired, you're that exhausted, you've like tried so hard, and you're like, oh my God, this is so hard. It's like it's so hard, like what am I doing? Like my knees are like, oh my God.
That's what I felt like. I felt like that you guys at the end of the World's Comp or something, like where you're just absolutely battered, and everyone just looks kind of like, I just wanted to
you don't want
to,
but like it's so nice when you get like a nice response from people that are like paying to watch you and stuff, and it's still quite, I don't know, it's quite surreal and quite embarrassing, I find, for me. I don't get me wrong, I love it, like it's so nice, but it's like, I don't know, I just like coming back home and just being in my wee secluded, like go on the Brass Monkey ice bath, come in the hot tub, eat some food with Cushy, go in the garden, chill. Like, I'm like, why people like, why are you wanting photos and stuff? It's weird. Like, you can see me walking to the shops, or like, or usually sitting in the car while Cushy goes in the shops, because I can't go into shops because I get too like anxious and stuff. I'm like, Cushy, would you mind? And
that's why I like coming up here. That's why it's like it's the only place like this, like super relaxed and chilled out.
I hope you're enjoying this episode so far. I am doing the world's heaviest marathon, taking a 100 kilo stone from the north of Scotland, 26.2 miles down south, to a stonemason to be cut down to a 30 kilo stone. That 30 kilo stone is then going to be ran 450 miles back into Nottingham over 10 days. To do this, I've had to put my body through immense pressure and stress. The reason I'm doing it is because I have an amazing cause to try and help. Bereaved parents who suffer from stillbirth sometimes are unable to afford headstones, and I want to be able to change that. So that is why I'm doing this run. Along the way, I've had some real physical difficulties and mental battles, and friends have picked me up, including the amazing Brass Monkey. Brass Monkey is the premium ice bath and ice plunge around the world. They are the best of the best. They reached out to me and said they wanted to help on my goal, and they've donated a £24,000 ice bath. It is the top of the line, and I couldn't thank them enough. So what do we do with the ice bath? Well, first of all, it's helped me in training, but second of all, we want to donate it to one of you. So if you want to win the ice bath, which is worth over £24,000 and is the best in the world, all you have to do is donate £5 to the link in my bio at the Brass Monkey giveaway. Every £5 donation gets you an entry into the ice bath, and I promise you, this thing will change your life. I'm so sad to be letting go of the Brass Monkey ice bath. It is the best thing I've ever used for cold therapy. Thank you to Brass Monkey. And if you want to support my journey as I do the world's heaviest marathon and the world's heaviest ultra marathon, follow me on Instagram and join the journey.
Just on this, it's reminding me of something. You know when you get really pumped up for lifts and you like you shout something. Usually you're on point and you shout something really cool. A couple of times you shouted some lines. I don't know if you remember any of them where they've like come out a little bit wrong.
I don't know.
Do you not remember any?
I can't remember what I said.
I'm here. You. That's one that I've laughed at before.
I'm here.
Yeah, you was like, it just, I don't think...
I I usually, they're not excited. Come on, you wee fucking cunt. Yeah.
No, it was after a lift. You were celebrating.
Oh right, yeah. Beer.
Yeah, he was like blasted out. And you not got any in your head that you're like, oh, that came out not exactly how I planned it to go.
I think I get my words mixed up sometimes. Like, a lot. Like, I don't know if it's just in that heat of the moment again, because you can't like. Like, you don't know what to say sometimes. You're like something Scottish. Like,
yeah.
I think that I saw someone do that when I was like shouting something and it was like in the subtitles something Scottish.
Yeah. Yeah, I think someone memed you on the I'm Here one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was funny.
I always think the last time in Worlds or something, I think my nipple slipped out and like, did a little skip. Like, but why am I skipping? It's like. Yeah. Just weird. You watch it back and geez, oh look, you're a bloody maniac, man. Just chill out. It's not a big a deal. It's just, but it's cool. It's like, it's nice. It gives you like it's a job, yeah,
you say that, and then I see you win Europe's or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's obviously a massive emotion. So it also means like a ton to you as well.
Yeah.
Like how balancing that, because like I said, you also are very good at saying it's not what we're doing is not exactly it's a luxury or that kind of stuff, but also you're super invested into it.
I think a lot of the time I feel guilty as well, because like if I'm saying this is really hard work, it's like shut up, Luke, you're just I was talking something, I don't know when I was talking about it. We did a talk the other day and like I was saying like I get frustrated at myself that like I started strongman competitions when I was offshore. So, like, and that was really hard. That was like so difficult. Didn't have equipment, didn't have the right food, working 14 hours a day, then going to the gym, and like I didn't make any excuses. So like now when I'm saying it's hard work, I'm like, shut up, Luke. You're home whenever you want. You got a good gym. You've got everything there for you. But sometimes when I don't know about you, but like when you have things in front of you, that's like.
Yeah.
It's easier.
Yeah.
It almost becomes more difficult because you've got more time. You can like, I need to do this. Need to spend more time with Cushy. I need to, X, Y, and Z. All these excuses, and I just think, look, Jesus, stop being such a dickhead. Like you didn't make any excuses when you're offshore, so stop making excuses now. But I think going back, like it does mean so much to me. Like this has like transformed my life and being able to compete in strongman and stuff, and like. Winning Europe's Strongest Man this year, it's like, oh wow, like it's such a cool thing to do and to win and get into the final of World's Strongest Man and doing all these things. It means so much to me. Like I can't put into words what it means, but it means that you're more than I'm more than I've ever thought about myself because I'm better now, I think, but I'm guilty of being very negative on myself. I'm not good enough, not all this stuff. So
this is so really interesting then, yeah. So switching from being like almost like proving people wrong and like, I'll show them kind of mentality to I'm more than enough. Like, have you noticed a difference in success or the way you feel about your life or that kind of stuff?
I think learning to be kinder to myself and to say, look, it's okay for you to be proud of certain achievements. I started doing a bit of journaling and stuff, so it's like writing little things like what am I proud of today. Little things like doing the peloton bike in the morning, going for a walk with Cushy, being at home more. It's like just little things and it's okay to be proud of those things. It doesn't have to be some super massive, of course when things go well, like winning Europe's, Tom winning Worlds, that's amazing, of course, but also the smaller stuff, to bring that's been talking a bit recently about bringing that wholesomeness up, so I'm quite manic, I find, and won Europe's Strongest Man, and then you come back home and it's like, you come up and because it's such a high, it's got to have that, you've got that low feeling, and that's when sometimes, if I'm not doing the cold tub, if I'm not looking after myself properly, that's when I get into that dark space, and but like bringing up that wholesomeness, like so going out for a walk with Cushy, spending more time in the garden, going like being in nature, like all these like things, like it might sound a bit bullshitty, but it genuinely brings up that kind of glow in you.
Yeah,
you know that
you're 100%.
You're not wanting anything more, are you? You're not like watching a fucking, like we went round to Dad's greenhouse the other day and it was like a ripe tomato, and eating that, it was so tasty, mate. It was so nice. It was like, oh my god, this tomato is so nice. And like that's Dad growing that with his hands.
Yeah.
You know, and like it's just that type of thing. Rather than so then when I'm competing, so like your baseline, my baseline was like below here, but now that baseline's come up. And then it's not that much of a come down then.
Makes perfect sense. We had an interview with Master Shahangi a few years back, and he was saying like the higher you fly, the deeper you'll fall. But I like the idea of that baseline being up. But it was really interesting being at the temple because they were talking about like take everything in your life, for example, and just think about how it actually happens or comes to pot. And one of them was food, and he was saying like when someone thinks about eating food, they might be thankful that the person provided them with food, but they're not thinking about, if you were to take a tomato for example, that it was grown somewhere, someone cared for it, they watered it, the sun was shining that day for that seed to grow, and all of those kind of things. And when you bite into that tomato and you think of all that, and you've got gratitude for all that kind of stuff, you understand that buying that tomato is like a really good thing, like a really nice thing, wholesome thing. And I think that's like talking about sort of bringing that baseline up and just generally being sort of more grateful and appreciative for the lives we have. Because I'm super guilty of being negative, like beating myself up about everything. I said to Luke, my brother, before coming out here, if I do the world's heaviest marathon, I'll be proud of myself, which doesn't sound that big of a deal, but was a really big statement for me to put down because I've never really been proud of myself. I'd say, like, it's been a long time coming to say something like that, and lo and behold, on the day I was proud of myself. Like I'd already established that I would be proud of myself. But I think finding pride in smaller things is a really, really crucial part of like not dropping down from that that super high. So
I think, and I'm talking like this, like I know what I'm talking about.
You guru, Luke, man. But I know you try and bring it back down, but yeah.
But it's like. But what I'm trying to say is it's not like I'm not sitting here saying I'm doing this shit every day, I'm full of wholesomeness, I still have fucking bad days, I still do stupid stuff, I still, have that little fucking devil on the shoulder, like it's maybe not as big as it can be, it's like a little cute thing, it's like alright, okay, just shut up just now, mate, you're fine. But like it's still there, so like I'm not like preaching like do this, do that, whatever. It's like it was funny when you're talking about food, like when we're over with Wim Hof doing stuff, he's like, I need every meal, I treat it like it's a feast. So I feast every day and this is amazing. I'm thankful for like he's eating cheese and bread and he's like, and it's like that, I was loving that. That was like, and then when I came home I was like, Kush, this is an amazing meal. I am feasting tonight. It's maybe could have died down a little bit, but like it's still that appreciate. Like it's so, like it makes perfect sense because I'm so stupid sometimes. I'm like, oh my god, they don't have whatever in the restaurant, you know, and you're like, oh god, they're gonna have to have pasta. It's like get a grip, man. Like still being able to go out and eat that is amazing. I
genuinely think your expectation is what dictates your happiness some of the time. Like if you've got expectations that it's going to be like this and this, and like you say, like it's going to have the perfect meal or the steak or whatever, and if you're placing a lot on that expectation and it doesn't come out and you're unhappy because of it, like it sounds terrible to reduce expectations or reduce. Maybe I don't know if expectation is the best word, but once you start to place really high value on stuff that's quite menial, you can really make yourself unhappy. Like it doesn't need to be so cut and dry with stuff. No. If it pisses it down with rain and you get a bit wet, like it's not that bad. You'll get dry later on. It's not, and there's loads of things like that where people, for me, like it used to be, if someone cut me off in traffic, it'd wind me up. It's like 5 seconds of someone cutting me off. But for the rest of the day, it'd start to set my tone, and I'd just be pissed off at everybody. Yeah, stupid.
I think it is normal. Like,
Yeah,
we're
it's
all
normal,
just
for sure,
susceptible to those things, those like stupid little like. Oh my God! Someone called me something. Someone said like, and it doesn't make a difference, does it? Like,
No, yeah.
Like, and it's the same like social media, isn't it? When you see like one bad comment.
I said that to Neve yesterday, yeah, someone dogging me out.
Yeah, oh, big deal, you carried the fucking stone. Oh, like, what does that does that matter? Like, someone saying that, it's so, like, but it's so difficult to change that mindset, isn't it? It's like...
Very difficult, yeah.
Like, what is it, if you keep doing it, you can change that brain
just
pattern.
Small parts at a time. I think, like I say, you saying that you was proud of yourself, or you was happy about this and this, like very small moments of gratitude. That's I think that's a good way of starting. And a lot of people say like journal your gratitude and all that kind of stuff. I think that's a great idea, but like it doesn't have to be. You could just if you could just have the thought process of actually, you know, I'm running a house. I've got 3 kids. Doing a great job. Like none of them have starved yet. Like you're doing really well. And start to have little bits of gratitude and appreciation for yourself. But as well, that's self-loathing. That can be a tough one, yeah. And it's difficult to get out of that cycle once you start to really lay it on thick.
It's just what we see. It's just what we're like. What we see like in social media and like all this stuff. It's like our brains are getting like rewired by that, isn't it? It's like all the time we're like, we don't have to work hard because we can do this, or we don't have to do that. It's like it's like a rewiring, and like I don't know, it's very like confusing, I find, because sometimes I think social media is class, and it's like why we can do what we do, so why we're sat here, you know, chatting and stuff. But at the same time, it's just I've got rid of like social media on my phone and stuff for the last few weeks. It's been so nice. You said to me last week, you need to get social media back. So I had Instagram for a day, and I was like, stuff this. Because like I was finding it like when I'm with Koa, I'll be on my phone, and I'm not like, look what you're doing. You're looking at stupid like, I don't know, some guy building a house in Amazon or somewhere. Like, and Koa's here, you know, like let's concentrate on Koa and like. But it's difficult. But again, I'll probably get it back in a few weeks' time. You know, it's just that's the cycle. The way the cycles go through, and like I'd hate to be sat here preaching like, I'm cool, bro, no social media and stuff. But it's just there's times when it is a bit overwhelming and it's a bit like full on. And I don't know. It's who knows about life. It's just trying to do what's right by you if something makes you tick.
I hope you're enjoying the episode so far. I am going to be doing the world's heaviest marathon. I will carry a 100 kilo stone on my back for 26.2 miles down south to a stonemason. The stonemason's then going to cut that stone down to a 30 kilo stone, where I run that headstone 450 miles down south back to Nottingham. The reason for this is because I want to help raise money for people who have been affected by stillbirth like me, and provide them headstones so they don't have to think about the financial burden. It's been one of the most difficult things to train for over the past 6 months. We've had injuries, blood, sweat, tears, mental breakdowns and everything. And along the way, some great friends have picked me up, including Chad Robichaud and also Vortex Optics. When they heard about my goal that I wanted to do this and I wanted to help people affected by stillbirth, they contacted me and said that they want to help out by donating their Vortex Optics, some of the most premium optics for your tools. So if you want to find out more about where you can get these optics, go to the link down below. Every $5 donation will get you an entry into the raffle, and all that money goes to the charity. Vortex is one of the most premium companies out there, and I have used them with Chad, and I can vouch for them that they're absolutely unbelievable. And Chad is an absolutely amazing guy as well, so go give him a follow. This mission is going to be one of the most difficult things I will ever do in my life, but it pales in comparison to what other people have to go through when they're grieving through loss and baby loss. So please help support this mission with the donate page and also with this giveaway. Let's dive back into the episode. Thanks for watching.
You know, you've always been like on a spiritual journey since I've known you. Like you've gone through like quite a few, I would say, rebirths or whatever. Yeah, it's been amazing to see. But like, what's the biggest mover since Cole's been here? Like, have you noticed anything shift?
Just feeling like, I was saying earlier on, and it sounds mad. Of course, we've got a connection, like, because he's my son. But I feel like so connected, like he knows what I'm thinking, which is really weird. I don't know, like, in terms of spirituality and stuff, I don't know. But like, just like, there was a moment when Kush was pregnant, and like, I won't say too much, but I had my hand in her belly, and I had this like really strong connection with him. I saw this like dead mad colours and stuff, and like, I can't explain the colours because they were so beautiful. I just started crying, and like that connection's just like, it's just so powerful. I don't know what that is in a spiritual way. Like, it's like we do like the chanting, the Hare Krishna stuff, and you know, love speaking to Struan and Jodie about Christianity, and but like, I'm torn sometimes. Like we've chatted about it before, like with spirituality, religion, all this stuff. It's like, are we just looking to be part of something bigger? Like, you know, because I think all men and all women are the same. I don't think we should, like the gurus and stuff. I get like they're fantastic and knowledgeable, and like learn from them. Of course, we learn from other men, other women, other people. But like, if we hold people in like a godlike existence, it's very strange for me to think like
I'm
that.
very much the same.
It's like, are we just looking to be part of something like we're like water, we flow everywhere, we get everywhere. That's what we're supposed to do, I think. So like, being part of something, is that restricting you then from being open to other stuff? Like, if I was saying, right, I'm a devout Christian, that's all I believe in. Is it going to stop me from exploring other aspects that might make me? Again, that's just my personal journey in religion and spirituality. I'm not saying, like, I think people that have that 100% commitment to something, I think that is so like powerful and attractive in someone. But like, for me as a person, because I'm not that way, I'm a bit more manic, I'm a bit more up and down in my thought process and exploring things and looking into things, and you take joy in like a lot of different aspects. Like plant medicines, like spiritual, like chants, sound baths, like Hare Krishna chanting, like listening to like passionate like Christians, and they speak about God and Jesus and like the power of like faith. You know, that's like, that gets my hair standing up, and that's what I love. But I love it all. You know, it's like,
that's kind of what I'm like, and for me, like, I think maybe there doesn't need to be like such a rigid box on it, and it's like it has to be Christianity or Buddhism or whatever. Like, maybe everyone's right, or you know, in some way maybe everyone's right, or maybe everyone's wrong. But like, I definitely think there is something to it. Like, I don't think spirituality is bullshit.
No.
I think even science, I think, suggests that there is something there. Like, but yeah, I think that's how I like to see it. But I think you're right. Yeah, when you see someone who's passionate about, we get to interview loads of people who are passionate about specific religions, and that's I guess another thing is like, when you're turned off from that, I think that's it can be a little bit of a disservice, because you can really learn a lot of stuff from people if you can see past the things that are maybe putting you off. Like, I really struggle sometimes when I hear people speaking specifically about Jesus and God, because I grew up in a Catholic church, and it's kind of like pushed on us a lot. So like, when I hear Jesus and God and Jesus did this, it kind of puts me off a little bit. But when I really listen to it, they're saying very similar things to people who preach Buddhism, which I'm a lot more like, oh yeah, open, like God or Buddha or whatever. Like, it's less, you know, it feels less aggressive or whatever. But they're very similar practices. A lot of it's about kindness and you know, giving and prayer, and so they're quite similar principles. So and you learn great stuff from them. So yeah, I think it's sometimes can be a little bit of a disservice to yourself if you completely shut it down. I'm speaking specifically for myself. Like, I did that a lot with God and Jesus, and I've actually, it was a church pastor last year who kind of changed it all for me. Like, that was like a a huge thing. And he had a chat with me, and he spoke about Jesus and God a little bit, but he said something that like resonated with me so much. I was like, whoa, and that's why I'm carrying a stone as well, to be fair.
Like Jesus reincarnated.
Yeah.
You're basically carrying the cross.
Oh, I can't say that, Luke. Okay.
Only joking, but
That's a joke.
but I think, see, like when you talk about different religions, it's like it's almost like it's more attractive things to, like, you know, it's like it's really cooler to be a Buddhist, like because of like the media and the press. And
you're probably right. Yeah,
it's like, oh yeah, Buddhism's pretty gnarly, bro. Like, not like that. I don't mean it in a bad, but it's
no,
like,
no. I think you're right though. Like it has sometimes has a negative perception, and I think like for me, that really rings true with Jesus and God because of the Catholic Church when I was growing up. And not to say that Catholics are bad either, not at all, but it's just as a kid, like growing up, it was probably a little bit much for me to be told to do something without, couldn't understand why to do something. So, so
it's mad. So I think it's weird. We just thought that was quite cool, and this was quite cool. Like, I don't know. Like, again, everything's got their place. Everyone's got their place. That's why it's so nice, is having healthy conversations and sharing opinions. I think that is like so critical. Like without people getting like, teach me about Christianity, teach me about Buddhism, teach me about Hindu, Islam, all this stuff, like, or learn from yourself and like look into it. I think that's the beauty, having that ability to learn. Like that's what makes us so special, because we can take it and we can learn. So if we are like closed off from stuff, then we're maybe missing something that we could take in and you know, jeez.
Have you got anything that stands out as like in your head, like a really spiritual experience that you had one time? It's like almost like one of those kind of unexplainable things, or
like that the retreat that I went on with down in Pitlochry in Scotland a couple of years ago. That was wild. That was like a very like tribal kind of thing. So we were doing like plant medicines and then chanting. There was chanting music on in the back. We're blindfolded. All our senses were basically taken away. But like the visions that like I think I said to you, like firing energy bolts out my hands and seeing Kushi from like different lives ago and then that was really weird. And then we did a journey with a shamanic person, priest, whatever you call them. So she did a shamanic journey with us. And it was the drumming. I just went into this trance, and like she's like punch me, I'll go to the upper, so you go to the upper, and then this little baby just held my pinky, and like just, it was basically, I know now having core what it meant. It was like having a baby, you'll see things that you've never ever thought that existed before. So like this baby held my pinky, and it was like flying around the world with me, and I was looking, I said to you before, like waterfalls flowing into this massive hole, these flocks of birds just flying around, and like that's all here to see, but you don't see it because you're desensitized to it, you know, and seeing it through the baby's eyes for the first time. That's what it was like, and that's what it's taught me, like through Koa's eyes, you get to re-experience all, like see there's a massive tree there, I'm like, oh, Koa's gonna love that, where you just want to climb it, and that's the excitement that it gives me to see that through his eyes, and like, and I see it when we walk underneath the trees looking at it, and like, I want to know all the trees, I want to know all the names of them and teach them, and go, this is this tree, this is this plant, and like that type of thing. I think we all take, I was taking for granted quite a lot of the time that like I see flocks of geese in the wintertime flying through in a V shape, like thousands of geese flying. I'm like, oh, it's cool. But like when I was up on that trip with the shaman lady, like looking down at it, I was like, wow, this is wild. So yeah, I think that, but I think it's like, it's teaching you what you already know, but it's like taking you back, stripping you down a little bit, I guess, and just thinking, right, look at that, that's pretty cool. I think
that's a lot of it. I think, and social, we touched on social media at the start, but like I think that's a lot of it. Like, there's a lot of things that kind of suppress that.
Yeah.
You know, you see really colourful entertaining stuff on your phone in 15 seconds, and you go outside and the tree's just boring.
Yeah.
In reality, you're right. It's like if you to look at a tree specifically and the leaves and every single little vein it has in there, it's insane. All the life that's on it and the birds and it's crazy. And I think not respecting, that sounds quite enforcing, but I don't know. I guess being kind of awake to that, like we look at looking out any sort of angle you look at where we are right now, even inside here, you know, my brother and my sister here, Cushy and Connor here, and like those kind of, like, we are so blessed and fortunate, and life's so beautiful. It's crazy. I think we'll end there, Luke, because I've got 15 miles to do now. But on that point, I'm going to be running through the Cairngorm, so I'll be taking in the world as I go through, trying to remind myself how beautiful it is, not how much pain I'm in, or
hopefully. Maybe some deer and stuff in the road.
Some deer, yeah, we'll see. Yeah, that'll be nice.
Big mad star coming to get you.
That'll be nice. Yeah. I'll run faster.
Jeez,
yeah.
Maybe you'll end up riding the deer, and it'll take you like a magnificent steed to the
back to Nottingham.
Imagine that. Mad royal stag. Jordan, I am here to assist you in your journey.
That would be a spiritual encounter. Yeah. We can pray for that one.
I bet you a few days in, mate, you'll be seeing all types of things.
I bet, yeah. There was a little bit of hallucination last night, to be honest. So we'll see. I'll keep that updated. But thank you for yesterday. Like, I don't know. I genuinely don't know what it would have looked like if you didn't turn up. Hopefully there'll be a documentary on Mother's main channel, and you'll get to see how I was about 10 minutes before you turned up. Yeah, but thank you, mate.
No, it was nice. Thanks for having us on. Good luck with it, mate. We'll smash it.